I'm Benjamin J. Melgares, artist, illustrator, and urban sketcher. I was always that kid in class who had their head down, looking at the page, pencil moving. Without drawing, I tend to get edgy. I become upset. I wake up in the morning, first thing I want to do is go start working on a drawing. Get at least one done a day. It's just something I feel I need to do now. I made it up Milagros Monday. My Monday to go real quick, grab a latte, treat myself out to coffee. In all reality, it was simply a reason to go out into town and draw people. I've looked back, sat down, analyzed my life, and was like, hey, this is really what you've always wanted to push for. You have to become an artist. I mean, there's so many little things that people overlook that don't get noticed. I like to think that I capture those moments and get to foretell that story with my images. If you went out into the woods and everything and sketched, it's still sketching on site, but it's not exactly urban sketching now, is it? And that's one reason I tend to try to stray from the actual title of urban sketcher, is just because I like to think of myself more as just an illustrator of life. Urban sketching is the act of drawing on site. With a lot of painters, they're familiar with the term plein air painting, which is essentially painting on site. You set up your easel, you grab your paints, and you basically paint whatever's in front of you. With urban sketching, it's the same concept, just generally you're using pencils, pens. Some urban sketchers generally like to go back through and add watercolors, some paint, and just give a little bit more tone and depth into their work. But regardless, I mean, from the get-go is I want to be an artist. That's what I want to push for. Challenges? Constant change. I could be on the corner of the street drawing a building, and lo and behold, a suburban park's right in front of me, and there goes my building view. And that's one of the hardest things, is really trying to capture the moment, doing it quickly. In the same sense, that's one of the strong points of the style that I'm working with, is you're very limited sometimes as far as time goes. That truck parks in your way, boom, there goes half of the time you spent outlining or throwing in the first layer of watercolors. At the same sense though, it can add a dynamic that you can't really compare to with studio work. People walking across the street, it gives it so many dynamics that it adds to everything. Someone that sits right in front of you could make or break a piece, really. I mean, it adds a little bit more of a story. What are they doing? Where are they going? What's going to happen? The general ongoings of the people, what they're like, what they're going through. When you go to a spot, you can somewhat pick up on the characteristics and I guess you'd say the history of it. Just by being around it all, you feel that rundown, you feel that age that's come with it. I started going out and about into town to sketch, I'd say going on 4 years ago. And originally I saw a documentary on Robert Crumb, and he was doing the same thing. He was sitting there sketching everyone in the cafe real quick, I mean line sketches. I thought about it and I was like, well, that might be a good way to expand my work and get a lot of different people sketched out and get the feeling and get used to drawing people.
It's so interesting to come down here and draw people. It's the main reason I come here, just to watch people.
I mean, every style is real different, but they're all the same, being that they allow whoever's looking at their work to see a different part of the world. At the end of it, they have this diary, this journal, which they can hand to someone, and this person can look through, touch the pages, feel the saturation of all the watercolor that was laid down. And when you're holding someone's sketchbook, you know they put time into it. You know that they put their heart into it. In a sense, it's more of reporting rather than really even being an artist. That's really what I try to aim for, try to push for with a lot of my work, is to get that story out of someone rather than tell the story. I'd like to hear more from my audience than, hey, here's my story. Let me know yours.
Oh, that one good?
Call it the good start to a good day. I'd like to think of myself more as just an illustrator of life.